have a chance. Richarlison cuts it back. Oh, what a goal! First up! It's just the 5th minute.
Still Lewandowski. Still Doski. Finds Dembele, and Dembele scores an equaliser. What a pass from Lewandowski. He has been the best player. He has actually got 2 assists. One of Gavi's goal and now Dembele's goal.
And City wins! City won the match. Manchester City won the match.
Hello everybody, this is Brisbane 05 Blast here and welcome back to another video of this channel. In today's match, we're actually going to be doing an underrated fixture for the round of 16 clash, which is going to be Sporting Lisbon taking on Bodo Glimt, and that match is going to be taking place at the Estádio José Alvalade in Portugal. And that too, it will be the second leg of this fixture. So as you can see in the first fixture, of course the first leg, Sporting got absolutely destroyed by Bodo Glimt. 3-0 in Norway, and come on, it's because of their performances, man. And this has shown because, yes, Bodo Glimt's season hasn't started in Norway, but they've managed to prove the dart is strong. They managed to beat 3 top-side clubs, beating Manchester City in Norway, beating Atletico Madrid away from home, and then beating Inter 2 legs, 5-2 on aggregate. That's a monumental performance from an underdog team in Norway. And they might actually continue their their fairy tale run, because with the type of performances they have been performing recently, they might probably at least get to a quarterfinal finish. And I have a feeling this might be likely because Bodo Glimt have been doing so well. And I have a feeling, who knows, they could probably be the first Norwegian club to reach the semi-finals and maybe create history here. But yeah, once they win this clash, they're probably going to be versing either Leverkusen or Arsenal, which is going to be a very tough fixture for them. But hey, if Bodo Glimt can do madness by beating Man City, Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan, I'm sure that they could do a madness in the quarterfinals, either versing Leverkusen or Arsenal here. But anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Who's going to win the second leg? Comment down below. But anyway guys, let's just go to Lisbon to see Sporting take on Bodo Glimt. Alright guys, we're here at the Estádio José Alvalade in Lisbon to see Sporting take on Bodo Glimt in what will be a pulsating second leg of UCL Round of 16 here. So, if you know, in the first leg, Bodo Glimt actually thrashed Sporting Lisbon in Norway 3-0. So Sporting Lisbon actually have a mountain to climb here. They have to do the impossible in trying to come back. I mean, we have seen Liverpool do that against Barcelona, and Barcelona do this against PSG. But can they do it against Bodo Glimt, or will Bodo Glimt be too strong in the second leg? Tune in to find out. Right now, let's enjoy the UCL national anthem. Alright, now let's take a look at Sporting's lineup. So Rui Borges is actually the manager for Sporting Lisbon. And yeah, this is their formation, 4-4-1-1. Rui Silva is the man in goal. Arau Inacio, Diomande Fresneda, Julmen Morita, Goncalves Trincao and Catamo. And of course, Luis Suarez, not the Uruguayan one, but the up-and-coming Colombian Luis Suarez. So yeah, this is going to be a very interesting matchup here. So Sporting Lisbon, they've done well in the UCL group stage. They proved their dart is strong by finishing top 8 and having an automatic round of 16 qualification, where many people thought they would be in the playoffs, but they proved their dart is strong. Whereas Bodo Glimt, they were supposed to be eliminated, but here they are. They're in the round of 16. Speaking of Bodo Glimt, let's take a look at their starting lineup. Of course, Kjetil Knudsen is their manager. And they're going with a 4-1-2-3 formation, with Heikin being the man in goal, Jokan, Gunderson, Jotov, Swohold, Evian, Saltness, Berg the captain, Hauge, Kasper Hogg and Blomberg. Very interesting lineup here for Bodo Glimt. But can they hold on, or will Sporting do a madness? So we're going to see and find out. But right now, Bodo Glimt will be the team to kick off. And this is going to be very interesting here because if you know, Bodo Glimt have actually been kind of underrated in terms of their performances recently. But I mean, they did had the worst start in the UCL campaign, the group stage, but somehow clutched in probably 3 games later, I guess. Or I would say, I know for sure they've actually done against City at home, then they bet Atletico Madrid away from home, and then Inter in 2 legs. They're really on a roll right now. However, Sporting had the opportunity to take the lead, but what a saviour from Heikin. And you may be wondering, why is the scoreline 3-0? Well, I mean, if you know, making a second leg like this, especially with the same scoreline, is very difficult. You might have to make a lot of attempts to do this. So that's the reason why I have to think of plan B, and that's actually by trying to do the handicap by actually putting the scoreline as 3-0, like in the first leg they've done in Norway. So yeah, but anyway, looks like Bodo Glimt have the opportunity to maybe try to score a few goals. But as you can see, Goncalves is the player to watch. He's literally Sporting Lisbon's lethal player right now. But can Bodo Glimt somehow get the goal here? Well, it is a free kick here for Bodo Glimt for that unfortunate handball here. Luckily, it's not in the box. Otherwise, it would have been a penalty here. But this is very interesting here. What can Bodo Glimt do right now? We're already 15 minutes and Bodo Glimt have a free kick to take the lead. But Sporting managed to avoid it. And they're actually clearing it away for Gunderson to come and collect it here. It's Gunderson with it. He finds Sjovold. Sjovold finds Evian. Evian finds Blomberg. Blomberg to Berg, the skipper. Skipper finds Saltness. Saltness finds Berg, but Sporting went for an interception. However, it's a free kick here for Bodo Glimt. And yeah, Berg is going to be the one to take it. Is he going to go short or is he going to go long? He's going short. He finds Jortoft. He finds Evian. Evian with a back heel pass to Haug. Haug shoots, but what a saviour from the keeper, Silva. And it's going to be a corner kick here for Bodo Glimt. They're already leading at the in the first leg. So they really want to put pressure on Sporting and make sure they don't come back here. But that's what they're doing right now. They managed to prevent the corner kick to get into a very dangerous situation and are now in the attack. Basically, having to erase a 3-goal lead is very difficult. Liverpool have done it before. So have Barcelona. Well, Barcelona have been coming back from 4 goals, but it is what it is. But right now, Bodo Glimt have the opportunity to take the lead again. What a saviour from Silva again. Like, what a cross. And what an attempt. But Silva made another save to keep it at 0-0. And it's going to be another corner kick here for Bodo Glimt. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see if they can actually capitalize from this position. Looks like Berg goes for a long cross. But Sporting managed to nullify this. He heads it to the keeper. And now Sporting are trying to maybe score 1 goal, at least before the halftime break. Right now, here's Goncalves. Goncalves is on the run. He finds Araujo. Araujo makes a wonderful cross to Trincao. What a saviour from Heikin, as he makes it look so easy. And now Bodo Glimt are trying to go for a counter-attack. He finds Hogg, Kasper Hogg. Finds Berg, Berg with it. He finds Evian. Evian to Blomberg, who's through. Blomberg shoots and he scores the opening goal of the second leg. This has not been a good game so far here for Sporting. They already got embarrassed in Norway. And conceding like this in the second leg, and that too being down in 2 legs, is not the best way to start for the Portuguese Giants. But you got to take a credit of Blomberg's finish here. Silva tried to make a save, but Blomberg's finish was just too good. But to be fair, you can't depend on your keeper all the time. You have to rely on your attack as well. But anyway, Blomberg scores in the 30th minute. But can Sporting do something here? They're already down 4-0 on both legs. Of course, they're already down 1-0 in the second leg. Right now, here's Goncalves to Araujo. Still Araujo. Araujo to Morita. Still Morita. Morita to Diomande. Diomande to Julman, the skipper. Finds Diomande. It's back to Julman. Julman to Katamo. Katamo to Fresneda. Still Fresneda. Still Fresneda. Fresneda with it. He finds Katamo. Katamo tries to find Julman. Back to Fresneda. Back to Julman. Julman to Morita. Morita to Katamo. Katamo to Trincao. Trincao to Katamo. Back to Trincao, but what a tackle here from one of the Bodo Glimt defenders there. And they've really been clinical so far. Here's Blomberg. Blomberg to Kasper Hogg. Still Hogg. But what a tackle here from Morita. He actually pressurized one of the players there. And now Sporting Lisbon have the opportunity to maybe get one goal. Keep it into a 3-goal lead for Bodo Glimt. But yeah, I mean, this has really not been a great game so far for the Portuguese Giants. Their fairy tale run will end shortly, but not Bodo Glimt's, of course. They're probably going to be in the quarterfinals most likely, because I don't think Sporting Lisbon can actually try to overturn the 3-goal deficit. So this is going to be a long day here for Sporting Lisbon. Here's Goncalves. Goncalves to Trincao. Still Trincao. Trincao to Araujo. Still Araujo, but what an interception here from Siahold. And 1 minute of stoppage time for both these teams here. For the game here. And looks like Blomberg actually made a very good run. But of course, a wasted effort here from one of the players from Bodo Glimt. But it doesn't matter, as Bodo Glimt take a lead at the end of the first half. Second leg, of course. And all thanks to Oli Didrik Blomberg. Scored the opening goal of this second leg. And because of his performance, Bodo Glimt might actually make it to the quarterfinals. But yeah, after halftime, it's Sporting 0, Bodo Glimt 1. But Bodo Glimt leading 4-0 on aggregate. We're going to take a look at the highlights first, of course. So there are only 3 actions, of course. There's, of course, a backheel attempt. But what a save here from Rui Silva. Like, that was a wonderful save. That deserved to be a goal, by the way, because that was coming from a backheel pass. Like, who would actually go for that? That is insane. But fair credit to the keeper to making a wonderful save. Like, what a save here from Silva. And then we move up to Rui Silva's 24th minute save. And that too, it was... I'm pretty sure that was Jens Peter Hausch that actually went for it. No, I think it was Kasper Hogg. No, Blomberg, sorry. It's not easy to know the players here. So, yeah, Blomberg actually tried to make an attempt. But Silva made another save. And, yeah. But however, in the 30th minute, it was a wonderful through ball pass. And Blomberg was completely through. Scored the opening goal of the second leg. And because of this, Bodo Glimt lead. Of course, 4-0 on aggregate. But 1-0 second leg, of course. What a finish here from Blomberg. Too good for the keeper. And yeah, that's it. That was the action. But now let's go to the performances here. Or match facts, sorry. But as you can see, Bodo Glimt have made 7 shots, 2 shots on target. Well, 7 shots. Well, not 7 shots, 2 shots on target. But Bodo Glimt have made 7 shots, 6 shots on target to Sporting's 2 shots, 1 shot on target. And it is going to be a very long day for Sporting Lisbon here. Can they do something here? Maybe score 4 goals. We just don't know here. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Second half will be coming up shortly, right after the break. Looks like second half has already been commenced. With, of course, Sporting Lisbon starting the second half with a kickoff here. But yeah, Bodo Glimt are leading in the second leg of the round of 16 clash. But as you can see, they're leading 4-0 on aggregate. And as you can see, it's an offside territory from Trincao. Nothing to be said here. He can't... Unfortunately for him, he can't appeal for this because he's way offside. But it is what it is. You can't challenge the linesman if you're offside. Just doing some basic explanation if you don't know football. But yeah. Sporting Lisbon still have the possession. Can they overturn this 4-goal deficit? We just don't know. Yes, Trincao. Trincao finds Fresneda. Fresneda to Catamo. Catamo finds Luis Suarez, but he's offside too. Sporting Lisbon have been crunched with so many offsides. Like, this is so unfortunate here for Lisbon. Suarez is just offside. That's unfortunate. But another free kick here for Bodo Glimt. They've been on fire recently. In their last 4 games, of course. But right now, Jens Peter Hauge is on the attack. Still Hauge. Hauge makes a cross or pass to Kasper Hogg, but an interception or block from one of the Lisbon players. Manages to get away from it. And now Catamo with the ball. He finds Julman. Julman to Catamo. Catamo to Fresneda. Fresneda to Julman. Julman to Suarez. But an interception. Anyway, Bodo Glimt really have to put pressure on Lisbon if they really have to do well in the quarterfinals here. But Silva makes another save. They've been dominating in Lisbon. But sadly for Ubas, the Lisbon mascot, he won't be happy about this. And it's going to be a free kick here for Lisbon because of the handball situation here. But yeah, this is going to be a long day for Lisbon. Unless if they can conjure 4 goals in 32 minutes. Which is probably going to be very impossible at this stage. At this stage of the proceedings. So... unless if Lisbon can think of something here. Here's Goncalves. Goncalves makes a wonderful pass here to Araujo. Araujo makes a pass to Suarez. Suarez shoots, but what a save here from Heiken. He probably used his nuts to make a save, because that was a better way to make a save to prevent a goal. And that's what he did so far. And now Bodo Glimt, they're on... not on the attack, but they're with the possession of the ball. Here's Blomberg. Still Blomberg. Blomberg finds Berg. Berg to Kasper Hogg. Kasper Hogg to Jens Peter Hauge. Back to Hogg. Hogg to Saltnes. Saltnes to Jokan. Jokan to Hauge. Hauge to Jokan. And a handball situation here for Lisbon. So it's going to be a free kick here for Bodo Glimt. But like I said, this has not been a great game so far for Portuguese Giants. I know I'm repeating, but maybe Sporting Lisbon can probably hear me from this. They can probably hear what I'm saying. Maybe think that this is a commentator's curse and maybe think of trying to come back from here. But I digress here. It is really impossible. Very, very impossible for Bodo Glimt to choke from here. But anyway, free kick is already given. Referee's trying to get things settled with the free kick. Is he going to start? He is. And I think he's going for a short pass. He is. Just wanted to kill some time here. Don't want to... And, of course, penalty. This has been a nightmare so far for Sporting. No words to say here for the player there. Araujo, just a disaster class with a handball. He tried to clear it. It just hit his hand, unfortunately. But yeah, Sondrefet comes on for Berg. He's probably going to be taking the captain's armband. And looks like Kasper Hogg is going to be the one to take the penalty. But yeah, this is going to be a disaster class. And what was the keeper doing? He just had to dive. And yeah, Sporting Lisbon, they're 2 goals down in the second leg. And I don't know what's happening here. But great game here for Bodo Glimt. They're doing so well. Gotta take a look at the replay. He just went Panenka, man. Like, Kasper Hogg just did a Panenka on Silva. Silva literally thought he was going to go right. Well, Kasper Hogg's right, but his left. The keeper's left. But Kasper Hogg wanted to be cheeky and he went for Panenka. And yep, looks like they're down 2 goals in the second leg. And I don't think Sporting Lisbon will be coming back from here 20 minutes to go. This is going to be a long day here for the Portuguese Giants. They'll be probably getting another knockout stage exit. Won't be reaching the finals. Clears it wonderfully. Here's Goncalves. Goncalves to Araujo. Araujo to Goncalves. Goncalves to Morita. Morita to Goncalves. We're still with Sporting. Here's Araujo. Araujo finds Goncalves, but what a tackle. What a monumental tackle from Bodo Glimt here. Now here's Kasper Hogg. Kasper Hogg to Blomberg. Still Blomberg. He completely nutmegs. Well, not nutmegs. He does the defender dirty. Here's Blomberg. Blomberg tries to pass, but an interception here from Goncalves. He finds Trincao. But this is really a long day. I know I'm repeating again, but Sporting have been completely... They've been humiliated in front of their home fans, and this is not what the fans really wanted to hear from the players. Unless maybe Lisbon can maybe get some consolation goal. But it just hits the post. Trincao's effort just hits the post, and this could turn into an ugly night in Lisbon because Blomberg is on the attack. No defenders to mark him, but luckily for the team, keeper made a save, and it's going to be a corner kick here for Bodo Glimt. But yeah, substitution here for both these sides. Morita comes off for the Bast, and Houch comes off for Mata. Goes long, but the header has been just off target. Sporting are lucky that this has not been a humiliation place, I would say. This has not been their humiliation disaster class, because if this was 3-0, this would be terrible here for Sporting, especially in front of their home fans. But anyway, here's Suarez. Suarez to Julman. Julman to Araujo. Still Trincao. Trincao to Goncalves. He's through. Goncalves does a chip, and he might have scored the consolation goal here for Sporting. But what a goal here from Pedro Goncalves. Sporting haven't been on top recently. Not just for this leg, but for both legs. But this is something that Pedro Goncalves can take. A wonderful chip shot goal. Something that he can give for the fans if he's not in great form in both the legs. But what a chip shot here from Pedro Goncalves. He was literally the player to watch. He did score a goal, but just on the losing side, sadly. But anyway, looks like Bodo Glimt have a lead on Sporting, 2-1 in the second leg. But are they going to maybe get their second goal? Maybe be valiant in their effort here. Yes, Katamu, he's through. He shoots. But his effort is just off target. Just wide. Nothing to be expected for Sporting fans, because they know that they had a disaster class in offense. And they really have to regroup for their next UCL campaign, which will probably be the 26-27 UCL campaign, if they do well. But if they really had Victor Gyökeres, this wouldn't have been a disaster class for Lisbon. But they, of course, lost to Arsenal. Arsenal took Gyökeres from them, so Lisbon are kind of heartbroken. And they really wanted Gyökeres to stay, but Gyökeres was too impatient. He really wanted the Arsenal transfer to go through, and because of that, they had no choice but to let him go. And looks like Jokan tried to skill the defender there, but Lisbon managed to get this one away. But yeah, it's full time with, of course, Lisbon getting beaten by Bodo Glimt. 2-1. And of course, beating them in 2 legs, 5-1 on aggregate, of course. And Kasper Hogg and Blomberg were the goal scorers of the second leg. Of course, Pedro Goncalves scored the only goal of Sporting's second leg clash, but it has been a mere disaster class for Sporting. Full time, it's Sporting 1, Bodo Glimt 2. Bodo Glimt winning against Sporting on aggregate 5-1. But looks like we're going to take a look at the match facts. Of course, 11 shots, 6 shots for both these sides, but 11 shots for Sporting. Again, sorry. 11 shots for Bodo Glimt, 9 shots on target, 6 shots for Sporting and 3 shots on target. But yeah, let's take a look at the highlights. And of course, the Kasper Hoek's penalty goal. Take a look at that Panenka, man. Absolutely brilliant. That is too good. Powerful one from him, by the way. And the keeper was excited. Like, seriously, he was running into the net. And then Rui Silva made a save in the 83rd minute. It could have been a disaster class. But what a save from Silva. Didn't have the best of his moments there. But he at least made a save. And then in the 86th minute, it was a wonderful pass from Trincao. And what a chip from Pedro Goncalves. To try something like that is something the fans can really take. They really fought pretty well. Like, it was literally a one-sided performance here from Bodo Glimt. But Sporting really gave everything. That's all I got to say. And then Jenny Katamo, he tried to give Sporting their second goal, but his effort was just off target. Like, that's unfortunate on his part. He was like frustrated after missing that opportunity. And yeah, that's second half already done. But yeah, let's take a look at the performance. Of course, Kasper Hoek is the man of the match. Well, even though he scored a hat-trick, we're not going to count that actually. We're really not going to count that. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll be back for our next game. Goodbye. Hello guys, we're back, and just as we witnessed, Bodo Glimt completely destroyed Sporting Lisbon in 2 legs, beating them 5-1 on aggregate, and of course beating them in the second leg 2-1. And it was kind of expected. I mean, Sporting, they were nowhere close to their best, and Bodo Glimt, they really wanted this quarterfinal spot, and that's why, because of that, they actually performed a madness. Of course, Blomberg scored the opening goal of this game, and then Kasper Hoek scored the penalty goal for Bodo Glimt. And despite, of course, Pedro Goncalves scoring an absolute chip shot goal on Bodo Glimt's keeper, it wasn't enough because Bodo Glimt's performances in the first leg proved to be the difference. And they managed to add more injuries to Sporting's wounds, more salt to their wounds by winning this clash, the second leg in Lisbon, 2-1. And I have a feeling that if they manage to continue this trend here, I have a feeling that they could actually reach the semi-finals. I mean, we've seen my club Arsenal reach the semi-finals last season, of course beating the 15-time champions Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. This could happen to Bodo Glimt. Maybe be the first Norwegian club to reach the semi-finals, but we don't know. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please make sure to like and subscribe. This is Brisbane 05 Blaster here, signing off.